Hi, so today I'll be making my lesson plan for two pieces. The first one is Dare to Tarantella by Shi Hua Tan, and the second piece is Promise of Spring by Dennis Alexander. And my lesson plan will be for a student named Tobias. Tobias is 12, he's from Idaho, and I taught him for 4 years, and he's reaching a level where he can move past the typical canon and early pieces and into more intermediate territory, which these pieces are good for. So a little bit about Tobias. My background on him is that he's very creative and expressive, but he can struggle sometimes with technique and rhythm. He also struggles to practice diligently. So he's very talented, but he can struggle with discipline. So the first piece that we're going to look at, lesson plan for, is Dare to Tarantella by Shi Hua Tan. And this piece, it has a couple things right off the bat that you can notice. First of all, it has a description below the title, which says, twirl, leap, twist and tap, whirl, shimmy, zapateo, or others will dance. Also, there's a tempo marking that says, with spirit of adventure. So with Tobias, I would, prepare him before he actually started learning the notes to do a couple things. First of all, I would ask him to envision himself as Tarantella, and I would ask him to imagine himself dancing or spinning a web, much like the piece states. And I'll also ask him to, imagine like himself, playing this that way. I would even maybe pull up some videos of spiders and then tell him, that this is like what it should feel like. So to begin, I was looking through this piece, I can tell that there's a lot of rests, as well as some staccatos in the left hand. So I would ask him to maybe practice just the staccatos. If there's any pieces in his repertoire that have a lot of rests, of jumping, I would ask him to, practice that maybe before learning this piece. And there's also another difference is in the right hand of this piece. There's a lot of slurs, while the left hand is predominantly staccatos. So having that difference means that he may struggle, especially since he has difficulty with technique, to play the right hand completely legato while playing the left hand staccato. And so yeah, I would ask him to maybe just practice the left hand alone to make that feel like maybe the spider jumping up and down, while the right hand, he can imagine it as the spider gliding across the web. And looking forward, I can tell there's also a lot of dynamics. For example, in measure 21, there's fortissimo. But in the beginning, in the line just before that, it's mezzo piano. And so I think for that, I would ask him to just practice making a big sound, since there's a lot of big sounds in this piece. Lastly, since this piece is in 6/8, I would ask him to count out loud before even attempting to start the piece. So, for example, I'd ask him to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And on beats that there are accents, which usually falls in the first beat, I would ask him to emphasize that. And I think that'll be really helpful for this piece, especially seeing there's so many, accents throughout the piece. And so yeah, that's my first piece. So for my second piece is Promise of Spring. This one is very different. Unlike the first one that was very intense and with lots of jumping and staccatos and fortes, this piece is a little more quiet, a lot more spring. It's more gentle, it's more legato, And I think Tobias would enjoy this piece more, knowing him and his creativity. So like the first piece, it has a descriptive title. Instead of being a spider, this time it's about a season, which is spring. So I would ask him, before he learned the piece, to imagine his favorite thing about spring. So it could be the flowers, or it could be, the nice sunshine or the weather. And I would tell him to apply it, to put it in the piece. So if he said flowers, I would say imagine these are flowers, blowing in the wind. Or if he said sunshine, I would say just imagine the sun beaming down on you. And I think it would be pretty relevant since it's spring. Anything can apply. And another thing about this piece is that it's heavily pedaled. There's pedal markings every other measure, basically, and a lot of pedal changing. So I will maybe ask him to look at a piece that he's picked previously that incorporated some of that pedaling, and then ask him to review it, because then that would help him in this piece. Another thing about this piece is that there's a lot of arpeggios and alternations between the left and right hand. So a drill that we could work on that could help him with that is arpeggios while rotating hands over each other. That could really help him as well. Especially as you can see in the first page, that the top note is played with the left hand. So if you could find something that he's played that has had that before, I think it would be helpful. Let's see, another thing that we could do, so this piece also has some 16th notes, which for Tobias, he hasn't done too much of that, even though he's intermediate level. So I would ask him to do some metronome work, and then I would also ask him to count and subdivide. Lastly, I would ask him to practice his finger legato. And I know while he's very young, this is a great opportunity for him to explore that. So I would ask him to play maybe just one arpeggio with one hand and try to make it as legato as possible. If he does this, then it'll be a great help to him. And so yeah, that's my lesson plan for Tobias. I hope he really enjoys these two